It goes up now. Second time's a charm. Um, it's usually not this slow. It usually comes up
Yeah,
quick
it's usually
enough.
within 10-15 seconds of you saying we're up that I can see it.
There we go. Now we are live. So,
Amazing.
second time has worked. We already tried to get the stream up and running, but we are properly up now. Welcome everybody to League of Ireland Tier 3. I've already done this intro, but we'll do it again.
I'll have to listen to this twice, for God's sake.
We're here in round 2, Miami. Only a few minutes into qualifying. We've only had some bankers on. Well, everybody's banker. So we haven't missed anything major here in Miami as of yet. But yeah, so we are up live now after a few technical difficulties with YouTube working, really. I don't know what was going on, but sure, look, we're here anyway. Myself, Josh 6000, and Cav alongside me as usual. I'm not going to ask you how you are, Cav. I already know, and I don't think anybody else wants to know.
Yeah, we won't recover that ground, and no one cares anyways. But yeah, interesting quality session so far. We obviously have King Papa up in Tord, who finished second last week, so showing good consistency. Rory Drain positioned there in 6th, who again was 4th last week. But at the moment, our race winner from last week, Budge, down in 14th. He obviously had an issue on that lap at 33.9, so he'll be hoping to obviously set a better lap now this time around, and he appears to not have enough fuel to set a lap this time, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's just under a lap here, so he'll have a very slow in lap if he decides to post the time here. I'd be more inclined to think he's going to box and go again, but
yeah, he doesn't have any ERS either, so
we'll see what he does. And no, he's going to the line. I thought his ERS might have climbed that alright, so Budge, just to improve, a 29.2, so much more representative of where we expect him to be, and in an opposite car, but good friend of Budge's, as we know. And just on the spin around at the moment, as I mentioned him, is Mayo Man 29.3. So good to see Mayo back in the grid as always.
Indeed. Now, of course, mention him again, John Joe with a 27.8. So he is looking very quick at the moment compared to the rest of the lads, having Sanko and P2 6/10 behind him. So it'll be interesting to see his pace compared to the rest of the lads as the session progresses. Yeah, so 2 lads out at the moment, Budge and Mayo Man. They aren't going to be setting any laps, and Mayo Man is actually out. He's crashed. He's crashed in the end of sector 2. I'm sure we'll see a few crashes here, but interestingly, he does it right there.
Yeah, on the double curb that I mentioned earlier that you can try bounce your way over. I wondered if he take too much curb and go straight. Either way, he's ended up in that wall somehow, and that's Mailman's session over. So he'll be starting from close to the back, you would think.
That's a very interesting one there from Mailman. And Ryan Curran also out. He has a quali ban, I think. He blocking last week. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything, but he retired very early on. So
yeah, Ryan on the back of a good result last week. Obviously finally got that podium under his wing for Tier 3. It's been a while since he's been with us on the podium, so started this championship well, and we'll be hoping to continue it this week. But retiring from this session early obviously is going to make his life hard. The one good thing is plenty of overtaking opportunities around here with DRS.
Exactly.
So he will have an opportunity to move up the field, as we have a whole host of drivers now in an outlap going for that second run, looking to improve on those bankers, and this is where it starts to get interesting.
So it seems everybody's posting their laps at the exact same time here. Everybody on an outlap, well, the vast majority of people.
Might go for one myself.
Yeah.
I'd be at the back of this field if I did, but I might go out for one anyways, as we see Sanko in the chat calling Mick Jonjo a bit of a fraud. He thinks he's way too quick for this tier. We'll see, but that 27.8 is very impressive.
Yeah, that'd be pretty high up in tier 2. So quite a decent that. So we'll see what the rest of the lads are like. We have Carl going through sector 2, or sector 2. Into sector 2 now, I should say. Rory Drain also there as well. We've a lot of lads on laps. John Joe, of course, being on one, or going on to one now. Just want to start one to show whether they're on an outlap sometimes, which is not the best. What can you do?
This is it. But Carl in sector 2 looking tidy so far. Very much an improved driver this season. Has been even reserving up as high as tier 2 and competing very well. Beat me last week, not that that's much of a barometer, but finally got me on the last lap, so you can definitely see the improvement in his driving, and I think in a big way in his consistency. So yeah, coming onto the main straight now and looking quite tidy, and a couple of tenths in his pockets, so that'll put him up closer to the front 2 rows.
Colin, yes, I did not need my ID. I forgot it, so that's why we were a bit late there. I had to run back to the gaff and get it. Indeed, thanks for that comment, Colin.
So as we see, Carl, he does shave a bit of time off his lap, but not enough to jump a position at 28.7. And now Rory Drain up into P2 with 28.4 from the Drainer.
It is a good lap, but he hasn't jumped. McJohnjo here gets very close to the wall and surely lost a good bit of time there. He's already 1/10 down on his previous time. It's a very good lap. I don't think he'll be able to beat that by a very big margin if he is at all going to do it. But Rory Drain, yeah, just beaten Sanko's previous lap time, who is also on a lap which he hasn't validated. So
Absolutely.
McJohnjo 1/10 down. He has not improved on his previous lap time. Sully has invalidated. Carl is on an in-lap.
Yeah.
And Aaron McCann is on a lap as well. Oh no, I don't think he is actually. Not too sure. The deltas aren't showing me very much.
So that banker of Sanko, the 28.4, holding up well there as DK Phone follows the trend and sets a 28.4 himself, just pipping Sanko by a few hundreds, so good lap for him. I think a driver we should mention as well, the Bartafor down in P10. Bartafor really coming on this season, has definitely stepped up his game and was very competitive last week and towards the end of last season in this tier when he was reserving, and up there again, the 29.0 is very close to, you know, if you take John Joe's time out at the top, the rest of the grid.
Yeah, he's slowly making good improvements, slowly but surely. That's all you can ask for. He's moving up there, and he's up into the top 10 now so far, and I'm sure there's a good bit of time to shave off for himself. So not bad at all for the Bartafor, who has been here for a good while.
Absolutely. So at the moment we've Budge on a lap. Budge at the moment in Sector 2 and already 4/10 up, so much more representative of where we expect the Tier 4 champion to be. I'm sure he won't get tired of hearing that.
Exactly, so he, at this rate, he'll be seeing himself up into P8, up ahead of Aaron McCann, but I'm sure we'll see a little bit more time off of Budge as he's
makes a bit of a mess of the tight chicane. Yeah, he gets in a bit hot and it means his whole exit is compromised, but he gets a nice exit onto the straight. Wow. This
could be a very good lap from Budge here. It might put himself up onto the second rows. He's getting a little bit of an accidental slipstream. Nearly turned into an accident there as he's coming down into the final couple corners here.
It's the braking zone really nice on the power early as well.
Where's this going to put Budge? In P12 at the moment. He moves himself up into P5. Not as far up as I would have expected, but not too bad for Budge for his second lap.
28.4 again, so following in the fashion, and those Red Bulls are obviously set up similar, both doing a time within a tenth of each other, so really competitive to see.
Yeah. Now, for Budge to be able to make it back, he'll want to hurry it on up. He doesn't have a lot of time to be able to set a second lap, or a third lap I should say.
So we have Blue Gunner now in Sector 1 on a lap, and you'd expect Blue to improve on that 29.4. Generally speaking, he's well up there and competitive. You see the Sister Alpha has run out of fuel in Sector 3, so hopefully that doesn't get in his way.
And there he is, the Serious Mushroom. Wouldn't be a League of Ireland race without him. Predicting a Rory Drain win, so that's our first prediction of the night, and not a bad one at all.
Certainly not. I'm sure it'll be many people's pick for a win here. Always thereabouts, and Blue Gunner very tidy so far in this lap. A really nice exit again onto the long straight, and yeah, 8.5 tenths in his pocket, so this is going to launch him right up there into the top 6 or 7 if he can maintain that sort of evolution of his lap time. Let's see what he does.
So down into the last braking zone this lap. doesn't hook it up as you'd like to there. He brakes a little bit too late, but he gets on the throttle nicely anyway, coming across the line, keeping it nice and tight. And it is P7 for Blue Gunner. Not too bad at all. He is the exact same time as King Papa. Not the first time this season that has happened. So 28.534 for King Papa and Blue Gunner. So to be on the same time as King Papa, not too shabby.
Yeah, so obviously a slightly longer lap than the average around here. 127, 128, 129 being your normal lap times. And with 2 minutes left now, nearly on the quali session, if you ain't getting on an out lap now, you ain't making it around. So everyone that's going to go again will surely be launching very shortly, as I see an Alfa Romeo coming out of the pits. That's probably going to be Sanko going for one final run, and I wouldn't think too many behind him will make it around. We seen Rory Drain last week cross the line in quali with less than a second, so is anyone else cutting it that fine? We'll see.
I think, yeah, it's very tight at the moment, but I think we also do have the timing glitch still. After years of the timing glitch being around, we still have it in this game. That is great, but yeah, I think it's 30 odd seconds, so I think the lads coming out of pits now should be okay. Any time after that, I think you think that they're not going to make it.
Hopefully so, and we see DK F1 just starting a lap now, and we know it's early for DK, although an hour later for us means an hour later for him in the morning, which is probably a good thing. So let's see if he's a little more awake than usual, as his rivals are a little more asleep than usual. Maybe this week could be a good week for him.
It could be DK's week indeed, and I'm sure Mrs. Phone will be watching on once again, and P4 at the moment, she'll be quite happy. And if he can get even further up than that, the better. So DK, not a bad sector one at all, as he is coming down into a tricky section, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of little slip-ups coming down to this tight chicane coming up right now, and let's see how DK is going to handle it. Keeping it nice in fourth gear, down at the third. You'd usually see it in the second here, and he goes over the curb just a little bit too much there, and he goes over that curb again on the left-hand side, which is not ideal, but he is still slightly up on his time.
While we watch him come down the main straight, we should just know Sanko with a 28.1 going into P2, and Griffin just setting right behind him, 2 thousandths over in P3 with a 128.127. As DKF1 now brings us to the line. What can he post? Will it be quick enough to move up at all?
See now DK very close to the right hand side, and he does go up by just under a tenth. Brings himself up into P4 nicely, but Rory Drain is also on a lap very close to invalidating there. That will give him a great exit onto this back straight. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of overtaking here, as it is quite a long straight and a long straight after it as well, so a lot of overtaking opportunities, as we said earlier. So the checkered flag is out for qualifying. 4 people have taken it, or 5 people have taken it so far. I'm sure we'll see a lot more people after that taking it as well.
Bartafor and Alex both coming to the line, but have aborted their laps. We've seen King Papa now coming to the line at 27.9. He goes P2. Really good from Papa in the Haas. And now we have Nick Jonjo coming out of his lap, so he's not going to improve. He's into the pits. And we have Sanko. Can Sanko improve? Sanko P2 with a 27.8.
Very close to McJonjo there with that lap. Very nice lap.
And we now have Ron Nasaurus coming to the line. Is there anything in that lap for him? 28.7 is the best he's posted.
Comes Rory Drain. He's 2 tenths up on his previous time. It's a 27.9. A very good lap for Rory, putting him up into P4. Do we have any more? His teammate. He just about shaves a bit of time off.
Yeah.
But not enough to bring him up any significant positions. And that is that. Pole for the debuting McJonjo for this season. So, not bad. Not a bad starter at all for the Alpine man.
No dangerous sandbags today.
Not at all. So, why don't you bring us down the starting order for our race?
Yep, so first race of the season for McJohnjo and first pole, and what a lap it was. His first one out there, 27.8. Right behind them, Sanko got close, but just not enough in P2. King Papa in P3 with Rory Drain close behind in P4. Griffin popped up to P5 with a late lap, and DK Phone in P6. We have Budge in P7 and Aaron McCann in P8. Blue Gunner P9, Carl rounding out the top 10. Sully in 11th, Ronasaurus in 12th, Alex Bartafor, Daniel 13th, 14th and 15th respectively. Glenn Mack, quiet session for him in 16th, and Mayo Man after that early visit to the wall in 17th. Aaron Sully and Ryan Curran backing up the field with qualifying bands.
Yeah, so might it be a repeat, as Ryan Curran put in the chat? Another last to first job for Ryan, or last to podium, I should say, not last to first, not just yet, for Ryan Curran. And as you said, it's the track for it. A lot of overtaking opportunities on a track like this, coming out of a very tricky chicane onto the last straight, so very easily done, any mistakes there. So can be a great overtaking opportunity. So do get your predictions into the chat. It's definitely a very hard race to predict, given a very slippy track like this, even if it is going to be a dry race, which I'd assume it is going to be.
100%. And I just received a direct message there from Mr. Mac Johnjo. He prefers to be called MC Johnjo, but I'm not going to do him that privilege. Maybe if he wins, he can come in here and vouch for himself.
He can be the MC when he wins, exactly.
Exactly. I'm reading it as I see it, and I'm calling him the latest in the McDonald's family. He's a Mac Johnjo. So, yeah, let's see how he gets on. And let's see, obviously, what strategies now our drivers go for. It's a dry race, I can confirm, at least starting off. Can't see beyond the first 15 minutes so far, but that's what I have. We are starting in dry, sunny conditions, so let's see what the drivers decide to do. Also interesting to note that Shamrock and Gaffo both landing into the chat one after the other. We know how close those two are, so very interesting.
So we will be able to see the tyres very shortly. It'll be interesting to see, because I want to know myself what lads are going to be going on, because I haven't a clue. So,
notebook's out.
Notebook is out. And we will be able to find out very soon. I'd imagine the lads would be going for the usual medium to hard with as the majority, and a few going for the hards, and I'd say a couple, maybe Blue Gunner or someone will go for the softs just to tease us again.
There's always one. There is always one. Absolutely.
And it's usually Ronan. Ronan likes a soft start.
Ronan likes a racy strategy for sure, and we love to see someone mix it up, because you just never know.
Exactly. And safety cars are very likely around here.
Yep.
Very easy to crash, as we've seen in qualifying. Mayo Man doing just ahead of Budge, yeah, I'm sure we'll see a few safety cars. Hopefully not 5, as the number has decreased from 7 to 5 thanks to Ryan Curran. So let's keep it under that. A nice 2 or 3, maybe just 2 towards the end would be nice.
Well, usually I'd be hoping that we get to the 5 so we could hear you sing, but we're starting an hour later and I'm already starting to feel sleepy. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if we got through this with any, to be honest. And lads, as always, get your predictions into the chat. Hard tier to call as always, but I'm sure everyone has an idea of what they expect to see. And now this will give us a little bit more insight, the tyre strategies.
So, as expected, well, yeah, did I call it or did I not call it? I'll drop the mic and I will leave right now. Blue Gunner is on the softs, of course. It is just to tease us again. That is the only reason he does it.
We love you, Blue. We love you.
We do indeed. So, top 7 are all on the medium tyres. Then you go to Aaron McCann on the hards, and then you have, of course, Blue Gunner on the soft tyres. Of course, he heard us and then did it. That's it. Carl and Sully then on the hards, and you have Ronan in between a few hard runners then on the mediums, and then you have a mixture down from I Am Alex down to Ryan Curran, who is on the medium. So Ryan, I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of early overtakes from him, so there will be a close eye kept on Ryan Curran, who seems to be much more consistent and still as quick compared to last season.
We're one race in, but yeah, I'll give you that one. And of course, I will. You have granted it. So before we come on to the main straight, Josh, who do you think will be the top 3 today?
So, I've learned from my mistakes from last season, from last week. So, he who shall not be named, he just won't be named. That's it. So I'm gonna go for a King Papa win. And then I have Rory Drain in P2. And then we're going to see Budge back up on the podium. He's going to be in P3. That is what I think. No reason. That's it. What do you think?
No, you don't have to validate it. That's absolutely fine. I'm gonna go for Rory Drain to win. I think consistency is key around here, and I think he'll bring it home. I think McJohn has too much pace to knock it up there. He'll be in P2, and then I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say King Papa to bring it home in P3.
Okay, very interesting. We haven't had any predictions. Thanks, lads. Oh, we have actually 3 safety cars minimum from Serious Mushroom. McJohn, Ryan and Rory from Dylan, and that is all I can see. I don't see Budge on the podium, says Shamrock. Right, so we're going to be getting underway very shortly. All the cars are lined up on the grid. We have a couple disqualifications for going over their grid box, but they will still be able to race, of course. The lights are going out now. And the lights are blank. The cars aren't moving just yet. Now they are. We are underway here in Miami. It's a great start from McJohn. And King Papa's gotten a great start as well. Side by side with Sanko for P2 here. And it looks like King Papa will get the better of him. Going up into P2. And Sanko falling down the order a little bit. Griffin, that's a spinner. That's Sully
at the back, in the McLaren.
Yeah. And here we go. Griffin now very close to the back of Rory Drain. Nearly going into the back from there. A few wobbles up ahead as well. And looking further down the grid a little bit as well, we have DK close to the back of Blue Gunner on those softs, hoping to make some ground. And we have Rory Drain falling back just a little bit as Griffin goes by him.
Yeah,
and looking for a move also.
Early on.
Indeed, yeah. And Griffin also looking at a move on Sanko, a little bit too far back. Sanko seems to have good straight line speed. So far as Ronan going past Aaron McCann with those softer tyres, making them work at the start of this race. And Blue Gunner having a little bit of a battle with DK. DK just about keeping that P7 for now. Blue Gunner not able to use those softs in this first lap, but hopefully he'll be able to use them in the next couple while they're still fresh.
Yes, Daniel Mullins had an issue. He's dropped to the back, so he's gotten past him. And McJohn at the moment setting really good pace out front, already out of DRS range. So
here's Sanko going through the inside of King Papa, trying to get that position back after losing off the start, trying to hold it around the outside as King Papa. Will he be able to stay with
Griffin's
him?
Lost it!
Oh,
Griffin's
he
lost
has.
it on power, coming out of the last corner.
I think he hit the wall as well.
He did.
We'll soldier on here with these two going for P2 through the inside. King Papa breaks a little bit later. He is able to make it through the corner and stays ahead just for now. Sanko is very close behind him, goes over those curves a little bit too much, but he is going to stay behind the Haas for now. Try to get back in second.
Battling into turn 1 with Aaron McCann. Aaron going the long way around the outside. Good racing from the two lads, both left each other space, and Aaron for now stays ahead.
So there's been some good fighting, not too much chaos. We did have Griffin in the wall. I think he has a good bit of damage. I don't think he has any damage actually.
May have got lucky.
I think so, yeah. He managed to keep it in a straight line as quick as he possibly could, and that is Sanko with the straight line speed. Getting back past King Papa for P2 and McJohn. Steady gap at the moment. He is gapping the lads very quickly, very early on. 2 seconds and 2 laps compared to second place. So, looking further down. Oh, that's someone in the wall there. I don't know who that was. Was it Griffin? Once again, Griffin having a day of it here. Not a great night for Griffin at all. That is him into the wall. And we have Ryan Curran in P14 up from P19. And Blue Gunner falling back down the order. Not making these tires work as he goes through the inside of Ronan. And he brakes just a little bit too late to get that move done. A little bit of contact, no damage done. Ronan keeps that P7 for now. And we have another spinner, that is Alex. And I wonder if he's gotten any damage. Has he sustained anything? He has
staying
not.
Out anyways. As
okay.
Glenn Mack dives into the pits, not sure what the issue is there. Didn't see him have any obvious problem.
Yeah, I'd say he has gotten some damage. Glenn Mack, he doesn't have any damage. He's just going in for a tyre change.
Okay.
Maybe he has some minor damage in the game, didn't change before. It's a common issue. Let's see now. Ryan Curran very close to the back of Carl on those hards. Let's see if Ryan Curran can make a move down on this straight. DRS is enabled for this lap. Carl will not have it. but Ryan Curran right behind him will, and it looks like he's going to have him done before the corner. That's another yellow flag there.
That's
It's an
another AlphaTauri again, yeah. It's Griffin once again, and he's having an absolute nightmare.
He is indeed. So not a good race for Griffin at all. That's 3 spins in 3 laps.
Yeah,
so
not even. And it can be a vicious circle as well, because the more he overheats those tyres by spinning, the more likely it's to happen again. So really struggling, as Shamrock points out in the chat. Obviously not running traction, and while that's a brave decision, and one I know well the harshness of myself, and so do you, Josh, it's just so easily done, particularly on a track like this. So
isn't it? Yeah, and we have Rory Drain going past King Papa for the last podium spot. So Rory Drain making his way slowly up, and as we see, Sanko having a lot of pace here tonight. He has caught up those 2 seconds all the way up to Mick Jonjo. I don't know whether he's made a mistake or it's just the raw pace of Sanko this season, but he is up in that DRS range, 6/10 behind Jonjo now.
Well, Jonjo had gapped everyone, but last time around, top 11 drivers on the 32s, except for Sanko and Rory Drain, both in the low 31s. So reeling in the leader at the moment, and Rory's coming into this party quite quickly now, 1.3 behind only.
So we have a few gaps that have formed. Of course, we have Ryan Curran now onto the back of Bartafor, doing quite well with his ERS. We have a yellow flag. Is that Griffin again? No, I think it's Glenn Mack. It's the other AlphaTauri. So AlphaTauri not having a good season at all so far, or not having a good race, I should say, so far.
That's for sure.
And here we go. This could be a possible battle between Bartafor and Aaron McCann. Aaron, I think, had a little mistake coming into this section here. So is Bartafor going over the curves a little bit too much. Ryan Curran has him in his sights now. There will be DRS for the both of them going down this next straight. Ryan is of course going to use his ERS, and he has a DRS open as well. He will not be able to get the move done just yet.
So Sanko with DRS open on the back straight on Jonjo, getting an extra 12-14 kilometers an hour, so reeling him in very quickly in a straight line, and continuing now to reel him in on the home straight as well.
And nearly hitting the back of Bartafor. Ryan Curran very close to him now. He'll be able to go for a move through the inside of turn 1. Bartafor is going to back out of this, and Ryan Curran is up into P10. That's a nice move from Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan steadily picking his way through the field, 9 positions up so far, and making that Alpine look very handy today.
He is indeed. He's having quite a good race coming up from P19. He's up into P10 now at lap 5. So looking well for him. It's also an advantage. Oh, nearly losing control of the car there. I was just about to say, an advantage of having the car ahead of him out of DRS. But he's nearly out of DRS himself, and he has Bartafor, who seems to be quick in a straight line right behind him. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move just yet, as we have Sanko, who may be close enough to make a move himself.
So Aaron Sully, just with a quick change in the pits there, has put on the hard tyre, and Glenn Mack is in at the moment. He's putting on a new front wing and has also come out on the hards, so going to the end is what he'll be hoping, but it's a long way from there.
Here we go, King Papa right beside Rory Drain going down this back straight. Rory will not have the DRS, but King Papa of course does, being just behind him, and gets by before the braking zone. But Rory is not going to give up that easily. He's going to have him now on this main straight as King Papa loses the car, and he's in the wall. And that is King Papa's race not over, but it's definitely not helping him at all. Rory Drain has picked up that position, thank you very much, and has his teammate right behind him now.
And Papa goes into the pits, so sustaining damage there, you would think. He's probably going to go out for the hards and a front wing change. We'll see.
So not ideal for him at all. That's Aaron Sully out. That's not in the pits, and it might be a safety car. It is
a full
indeed a
safety
full
car.
Safety car. So that has saved King Papa.
Mm.
And he'll be able to go to the end on those tyres as well, you'd assume.
Yeah, hasn't changed his front wing though, and I wonder, like earlier, is that an error? End plates are intact, but is he carrying further damage? I wonder, minor damage.
Yeah, you need to press yes when you're going into the pits now, rather than auto. Even though auto does mean automatic, but game doesn't seem to think that. I would assume now that the lads will go into the pits. If I was in McJohn's shoes or racing seat, I would be straight into the pits for the hard tyres. And in Blue Gunner's case, this has worked out nicely for him. He's been able to keep up with the lads ahead of him, and he now gets to change his tyres and go to the end. So this has worked out beautifully for Blue Bunny.
Yeah, and I'm just looking here at teams, the way they're lined up. No real issues up and down the field in terms of stacking, except for the Red Bull drivers. So I wonder, and yes, he has, Budge just backing away from Rory Drain just to give himself a little gap, make sure he doesn't get overtaken. You can see Rhinoceros pushing the lads on here.
Jonjo isn't going to go into the pits, neither is Sanko. And let's see, is Rory Drain going to go in? He does go in, that's a smart decision from Rory. Is Budge going to go in to make it a double stack for Red Bull? Red Bull lads have their heads screwed on the right way, as they usually do, hopefully. So, into the pits, everyone behind Rory Drain and Budge, so it only took one lad to make everyone go in, and it's going to be a good double stack from Red Bull there, not holding them up too much. Is he going to get out ahead of DK though? No, he doesn't. DK jumps him in the pits, and that is not ideal for Budge at all. So now
Budge losing out there.
Yeah, Budge has 2 cars ahead of him, ahead of him and his teammate. So not great for Budge there at all.
No, so this shakes up the order a bit. We have a few drivers who decided to stay out, namely the top 2 and Rhinoceros. We then obviously have the hard runners like Carl and Aaron who are going long, and then we have the ones who've already boxed who'll be looking to cut through, the first of which is Rory Drain. So a whole host of strategies going on at the moment, which is the beauty of this track.
So looking at it, going from now till the end without a safety car, we will have Rory Drain on the top step with DK, Phone and Budge in P2 and 3 net. So it's going to be an interesting race from now on. I think the lads ahead will be hoping for a safety car to come out, but time will only tell. This is our first safety car in 7 laps out of 29. So I'm guessing there'll be a couple more after this. But I'm sure the lads who just pitted there will be hoping the opposite. So the safety car will be staying out for another few laps. Jonjo will be restarting us when it does.
Yeah, and the one person who's really in a pickle here after that is Ryan Curran. Down in P14, yes, he's on a fresh set of mediums, but he will struggle with those from here on in once wear kicks in. So yeah, a little bit out of kilter. That safety car timing wasn't ideal for him, but let's see what he can do.
I'd say that was a mistake from Ryan Curran going on the mediums. I don't think that was being on purpose there. I don't know, that's a weird one. He's going to have to make another stop because he did start on the mediums, so he'll have to stop again. And he is going to stop again. There he goes into the pits, going in for what you'd assume would be hards.
Yeah, no brainer from here. Bring him to the end.
And he's only going to lose 1 position from that mistake, so that is not too bad. He can count himself quite lucky.
That's true. So we still have 18 drivers. Aaron Sully, our only retiree at the moment. And as we already alluded to, a bit of a shaked up order here now. So we have Pace out of position. Likes of King Papa down in 12th. Certainly be looking to make a lot of progress quickly. Budge obviously in P10 as well. And then what can the top 3 do? How much life is in those mediums to hopefully pull away? And they'll be hoping the likes of Aaron and Carl can be the cork in the bottle for them to allow them to build a gap to the rest of the field. But it'll be all interesting. If there's any further safety cars, that'll really dictate how this shapes up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting from here. They'll be able to bring those mediums out for a little bit longer now. But how much longer will they want to go on those mediums until they swap over onto the hards to go till the end? Because that pit stop is just going to be a nuisance for them now.
Just on board with Alex, who's slipping and sliding in Sector 2. And it is a track that's very difficult again to maintain tyre temp.
It is indeed, yeah.
Under safety car conditions. It's not made to be driven at these sort of speeds, and safety car in this lap, so McJohnjo, MC Johnjo, Mac Johnjo, whatever you like, he will be doing his first restart of the Tier 3 season. Let's see how he does.
So, slowing up the pack, waiting for the safety car to fully go into the pits until he's able to go full speed again. And it'll be in right now, and he's just about underway. Oh, he's nearly lost the car! And that might allow Sanko, who didn't get a great restart, to be able to catch up to him, and it is not. But Aaron McCann, close to the back of Ronan, might he go for a dive through the inside here? He's half sent it there. Nearly got through the inside of him, and oh, he's lost the car, Ronan.
Yeah, he gets out of shape, and that lets Aaron and Bartafor through.
Yeah, it has indeed. So, looking further down, Rory Drain now on the back of Carl.
Yeah.
He'll be wanting to make as many positions as he can to get away from DK, who's looking for a move on the Haas of I Am Alex. And Alex looking very slyly once again as... Ooh, Sanko, has he had a mistake there? I think he has. Aaron McCann has gone by him. Bartafor very close to the back from here. Bartafor is not going to be burning his ERS just yet, and he is now. Just a tiny bit. As Rory Drain does get past Carl.
Yeah.
And now DK has 2 cars in between himself and Rory Drain.
Yeah, and Rory right on the back of this top 5. He has temp in those hard tyres now, and he's looking very quick all of a sudden with the fresh compound underneath him. But once again, McJohn has steamed away with 2.3 seconds in his pocket, but can he maintain it this time is the question.
Yeah, it was a big mistake from Sanko, and that's someone else gone right. That's Ronan once again. He's lost the car fully this time. In the wall, that is damaged. It could be a virtual safety car, let's hope not. As Sanko gets past Aaron McCann once again for that P2 spot, as we have lost Glenn Mack. Possibly due to internet issues. I'm sure he'll come back. Bartafor now, close to the back of Aaron McCann. Those hard tyres will start to have an advantage compared to the mediums now. That's for sure, as he is going to stay behind Aaron McCann for now.
So Ronosaurus into the pits. He has lost his front wing entirely, so he needs a new front wing, and he will of course go onto the hard compound tyre. He's probably wishing he stopped on the safety car now, but wasn't to know.
Here we have Rory Drain now. Big mistake from Bartafor, going very deep through the S's, as Rory Drain is right up onto the back of Bartafor now. He's not going to burn any of his ERS just yet. He's not close enough. As of now, he won't have DRS either this lap. That will be next lap that we'll get that. As Griffin makes his way past Mayo Man for P12, and might have been Mayo Man might have him back here. Through the inside, Mayo Man goes on the Alpha Tauri, gets that position back. I'm sure there'll be more fighting, and there's a tap, and he is being hit by Griffin into the wall. Not any huge damage, but that is Mayo Man gone round, and might I say, that is not the first time Mayo Man has been taken out. He seems to have a habit of this. That is not good luck for Mayo Man at all.
Yeah, I was on board with Mayo and didn't see the contact from behind, but that's really unfortunate for him.
So Bartafor has a penalty now, so that's not going to help him at all. And Sully now gets past Griffin. And Mike Griffin try and get past him here. He goes for a switch back here on Sully. Sully nearly loses the car, it seems there. So nearly hits Griffin just a tad bit. And here comes Ryan Curran right behind the McLaren. And it wouldn't be brave to say go through the inside here. Ryan Curran on Sully TN. Gets the move done up into P13 for Ryan. Not a bad move at all for the Alpine driver.
Oh, so Ryan making sure we know this race isn't over just yet. And sitting in a nice position. Has more work to do though. But well intact with the rest of that leading pack. As we have Griffin around again.
Yeah.
Really struggling today, Griffin. I don't know if his tyre temperatures are off or whether he's not got enough rear end on that car, but really struggling to keep it facing the right direction. It is a tough track, particularly on power, but my goodness.
I think Carl has been disconnected here. He's ghosted all the way through. As there's been a position change, Rory Drain has gotten past the Bartafor. So Rory Drain is trying to get up into that DRS range of the Ferrari just ahead of him. If he does, he might be able to get very much closer than he is now. And that's a spinner. Who is that? Oh, that's Ryan Curran, I think. It is Ryan Curran. He is round already. So, first race has not shown any more consistency. That is very unfortunate. Ryan Curran back down now to P17. P17 for Ryan Curran.
Yeah, so we try to get Carl back in. His AI is battling hard up the inside of Blue Gunner here, but Blue Gunner gets the job done. And looking pretty racy again in P9 at the moment. Blue, he's keeping well on the back of that pack in front of him. As DKF1
Mr. Phone,
going around the outside of Alex. Alex just slightly later on the power. who'll win this one into the S's. DK has the line and has the speed.
Yeah, DK has just about gotten ahead of him there. Budge is now right on the back of Alex, so he'll be staring into his rear view mirrors, waiting for Budge to make that inevitable overtake here. He seems to be quite quick. And here he goes. Already, even before the DRS line, very close to him, really close into the wall there as Rory Drain gets past Aaron McCann. It looks like Alex has great straight line speed here. Might Budge go through the inside? He's very far back, but he's got to go for it anyway. Through the inside goes Budge on Alex, but Alex brakes just late enough to stay ahead of him. And there's a tap.
Budge taps him. Yeah.
And Alex is round, and that is not good form from Budge at all. I think there's a big accident. Yeah, there is. I think Carl went into the side of of Alex there, and King Papa as well. So there was a big accident back there. I don't think he ghosted. Is there damage on Carl's car? I think there might be. There is damage. His right end plate, I think, is slightly damaged. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten a good look at it.
Yeah, Alex has gotten away. It looks like scot-free, anyways, as the top two both box same lap. So, and Sanko gets 5 seconds, and that's a really poor error, and that's going to cost them a lot of time now.
So here we have Rory Drain taking the lead of this race for the first time today. He will not have to stop again. So very wide there goes Carl, and he has Sully TM going right by him through the inside. So very nice overtake from Sully, as the Barter is still on the back of Aaron McCann here on those old medium tyres. And DK is catching up to the back of his teammate as well. I don't think they'll be fighting too much. So we still have Aaron McCann to box. I'm sure he'll be boxing in a few laps time, and Barter should be boxing either this or next lap.
For sure.
So Budge on the back of DK. This is for track position. This is for net P2, which Blue Gunner is catching up to the back of here. So Blue Gunner in a net P4 at the moment. So running a very solid race today.
Sanko gets 3 seconds just to add to his current woes.
Yeah.
Not too far after getting that 5. So yeah, it's one of those things, I think, isn't it? Frustration kicks in, you start pushing that a little bit more, trying to make up the time, and it just gets worse from there. But long way to go yet. We're not even at half distance. Plenty of time for Sanko to put that pace he has into good use, as he has a look at Mayo Man now down the back straight. Approaching 343. He'll do well to get that stopped. He does, though. Very impressive without ABS as Sanko.
Yeah. And Barter has gone into the pits. So it's now just Aaron McCann in the top 5 to make his scheduled pit stop, as Sanko gets very close to the back of Mayo Man there. They're trying to previously make a move on Mayo Man. He has still a bit of work to do to make up that time that he has lost.
John Joe here is chasing Daniel Mullen through sector 1. He's going to have him, I would think, through the DRS zone. As we and he has a snap!
Very close to the wall there. Very good reaction times to keep it out of the wall. And that's a very good save from McJohnjo there.
Yeah, just a little angry on the throttle he was. Could be called because I called him McJohnjo, we'll see. But he has the pace if he can keep this clean. He's currently 13 odd seconds behind Rory Drain, but as I said, we're not even half distance.
Sanko and Mayo Man side by side here. This isn't going to end well. Mayo Man has to back out of it there. Very smart from him, as Daniel Mullen, pushing as hard as he can go, has gotten himself a 3-second time penalty. So
he's on board with that. McJohnjo actually punted him through the slow chicane, so that's basically what happened. A bit of front wheel to rear wheel contact, and that's all Daniel could do. So once he saves his race director and footage, he should be able to get that one removed.
I think a big mistake there from DK is Budge has overtaken him and gapped him in the space of no time at all. And Blue Gunner into the pits.
Yeah,
he didn't have to stop. Is that a bit of damage?
Yeah, must have an issue. We'll see now. No doubt yellow stripe Pirellis are coming. Yeah, he's no front wing, so he certainly needs to have that replaced.
That has ruined his race altogether. He's been having a great one today, and that is that for Blue Gunner onto those medium tyres, of course.
Yeah, so looking out front at the moment, 32.6 last time around for Drainer, and we have Aaron with a 33 flat. So Rory just easing away from Aaron at the moment, in control of this race, and yeah, doing Rory Drain things, I guess.
And we have John Joe right on the back of Daniel Mullen here. Daniel trying desperately to stay ahead of John Joe here. John Joe has great straight line speed, it seems, compared to Daniel Mullen with that DRS and ERS. Through the inside he goes, even before the braking zone. Gets ahead of him, but breaks a little bit too late there. Daniel Mullen is going to try it back at him. Goes a little bit late, or a little bit wide himself, and John Joe is ahead of him, up into P7 now with a lot of time lost.
Yeah, he won't be thanking Daniel for getting stuck behind them, but that's racing, and Daniel doing good defence there the last couple of laps. But like John Joe now has to get a move on if he's going to get back towards the front of this grid, as Carl gets overtaken by Sully on the main straight. Quite a long straight.
Sully is up into a net P4 now. So he is looking well at the moment, and John Joe, of course, is going to be behind the rest of the lads, but will have a tyre advantage. So
yeah,
big one at that.
And that DEG is going to be interesting to monitor, because how much of a difference will it make in that last number of laps? Particularly if we don't have a safety car, and that's a Haas. Is that Papa?
Alex.
It's Alex.
Alex round just as Sanko was going to overtake him, I believe.
Yeah.
And that is him around at turn 1. I don't know whether it was a bit of contact, but I'm sure we'll see with the stewards' inquiry if it is or not.
And I know it's only race 2, but if you look at the championship in terms of where we are from last week, you have obviously our winner struggling. We have him only in third at the moment, although I'm sure he's not too disheartened by that. We have in second, obviously last week, was Papa, who's really struggling, down in 15th, and Ryan in 18th. So yeah, Rory, who was in 4th last week, making up nice ground, and it'll be him and Budge really in pole position coming out of this one, with consistency proving key. But as I said earlier, still a long way to go, and this is a track where a minor error can be so punishing.
Exactly, as we have now John Joe right on the back of Carl. Might there be an overtake here? Oh, might be a safety car as well. He has to get it done quickly, and it is the safety car. Aaron McCann straight into the pits to take advantage of that safety car that just came out. Sully as well into the pits, interestingly.
Yeah, lads reacting, and everyone else nearly behind them as well coming in. We've Carl and Daniel obviously coming in. Like John Joe stays out because he's on the freshest of those hards, and this is obviously great for him. And
so I think Aaron McCann might be in a fantastic position here to take a great result out of this, because in P7 on those mediums, which of course are going to be much quicker than 10 lap old hards, and he's going to be showing off some pace here today, as that is another safety car brought out by Blue Gunner. So him and the medium tyres will be having a stern conversation after this race, I'm sure.
And 3 cars picking up 5 seconds for speed in the pit lane there. We had Barta 4, Alex, and most recently now Ryan Curran getting 5. So yeah, that's going to be hurting.
So the man who this has not helped out at all, and who had a nice gap ahead as well, is Rory Drain.
Yeah, so Rory now has his teammate right behind him for company, and he ain't making up as many points on him anymore, but a long way to go still. And absolutely Aaron McCann now, what can he do in this last stint? I was on board with Mayo when that safety car was deployed, and he had just got his nose in front of LOI Griffin. They were battling down the back straight, so he literally had his nose just past. Perfectly judged.
So be interested now to see how much ground McJohn can make before he has Aaron McCann just behind him, because John Joe seems to be very quick today. Whether he's quick with Rory Drain, I don't know. Might be marginal, but Rory definitely seems to be one of the quickest, along with John Joe as well. Don't know if the lap times line up with my assumptions there, but I'm sure it's close enough. As Rory Drain needs to get back behind the safety car, will be disqualified. Whew, that was a close call for the Red Bull driver. I'm sure the racing seat is completely brown after that one there. That has happened to a fair few people there in the past. Big Funny Guy being one of them. overtaking the safety car.
Wow, what hasn't happened to Big Funny Guy, in fairness?
I think McGee was another one. Passed the safety car without realising it was hidden just on the left-hand side in Austria. So near just about managed to stop, and I think Budge had good reaction times to stop as well, not to go into the back of his own teammate there. But that was a very close call, and very lucky to come out with that without a disqualification, because it doesn't give you a lot of time to give the position back to the safety car.
That's for sure, but we should applaud Rory for at least not hitting the safety car, which we've seen other drivers do in the past, not to name any names. Can happen.
Don't look at me.
Not pointing fingers, no, absolutely not. Can still see, I think, the front of your nose imprinted on the back of that Mercedes, but who knows? As we see a name I haven't seen in the chat in quite a while. Oh, Podge Farrell in there, and giving Irish Gary some stick, which is always welcome and well deserved. Was hoping to see Gary on the grid tonight, as I said last week, but hasn't been able to make it. Hopefully we'll get to see him maybe next week and see how he falls into this tier after a season away.
So we'll be out another lap with this safety car.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be going in this lap. The lads at the back will be caught up by now, and we have Ronan raring to go with Bartafora. Not so much. He's right there at the back. He'd want to speed it up just slightly. He is on 13 lap old mediums, which is quite questionable at this late stage in the race. You want to be going to the end now without a pit stop needed. Which he will not be doing on those tyres, so he'd want to make a pit stop, which he is going to do right now. So we might be staying out for an extra lap.
Yeah, and I wonder with Bartafora, I know he got that 5 for speeding, was his only option to come in off the hards to get rid of it, and then unfortunately put those mediums on. So now he'll probably put said hards or a fresh set of mediums, there you go, back on, and have another go. So obviously not costing them much positions. I think Alex and Ryan realistically probably should have done the same, but however, they've decided to stick it out. But those 5 seconds will hurt them if the grid remains as condensed as it is now. And there is a very famous Mr. Johnny Bastille, our resident rapper.
Johnny is allowed to have the title MC, just not
Absolutely.
yet for Mac Jonjo.
Yeah, if there's a reason he's Mac Jonjo and not MC Jonjo, is that we have MC Bastille in the house. Old 20 cent piece himself. He is our one and only. So if Mac Jonjo wants to come in and do a rap like the famous one we have from Johnny, we might give him the title then, but not until. But yeah, so this will be interesting now to see. We shouldn't forget as well Sanko in 5th, while Sean Gray pace still hasn't shifted that 5 seconds off of his record either, so 8 in total, which is really going to hurt his chances.
So quite worrying actually. We haven't had the nod that safety car is going to go in. I think it's staying out for another lap. Thank you, Bartafora, for letting us have another lap under the safety car. So the start of lap 21 is when we will be getting going again. So that is great.
You do you, Bartafora, don't worry. Don't listen to Josh. No issue at all. And I was laughing because I see Johnny Bastille now refers to himself as the artist formerly known as Johnny Bastille. So whatever name change he's going through, MC Bastille or otherwise, a bit like a King Papa situation, I guess. Maybe he's having an identity crisis, but it's good to see him in the chat all the same.
And Cav is definitely waiting to go to bed, are we, Cav?
Well,
Jeez,
Shamrock's not wrong. This is the longest hour of my week, and if anyone else thinks they can spend an hour in the comms box with Josh and not want to go to bed afterwards and fall asleep, well, fair play to them. But things might just get exciting yet. We have 9 laps to go. Hopefully Burnt will take that safety car in this time around, and Rory Drain will do a restart, and I'm sure he'll give his teammate, or will he, a little heads up. We shouldn't remember Budge, the person who pipped Rory to the Tier 4 championship last season. They now find themselves in the same car, working together. But will the gloves come off if they become championship rivals in Tier 3? Who knows?
He's not called Boxing Glove Budge for nothing, Cav. So I'm sure we'll see a bit of rivalry between these two, even if they are good friends. I'm sure he'll be seeing the boxing gloves coming out as they have done previously.
So, who can get the best restart? It'll be interesting to see the first couple of laps pace. Aaron will certainly have a big advantage early on with those mediums coming to life much quicker than the hards. Safety car in this lap, you can see it lighting up green, and there's the notification from race control. So Rory now will back up that pack, and he'll be looking to get temperature into those hards as quickly as possible. Luckily, he has a nice buffer of hard runners behind him.
So Rory Drain, I wonder now, will Budge be the supporting driver or will he be the attacking driver?
I can answer that.
I think we better we'll leave that for a bit until the end.
All I can say is that he's taken the gloves off in that Red Bull, and it's now a big pair of juicy boxing gloves driving that Red Bull in P2. So Rory is putting the power down and he's away, and Budge has gone with him. So he might have given him a little heads up, but DK phone further back than he would like. And we have Glenn Mack around, and Daniel Mullen retired. There's a big crash there on the restart. Huge issues down the field. There's a massive gap as far back as Griffin, who must have had a wobble, I'd say. And maybe that backed everyone up. Rolnosaurus into the pits. He's obviously sustained damage. And huge carnage off the restart.
Yeah, not ideal for those lads at all. Huge gap between the Griffin train and Carl in 10th. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, I didn't see it at all, but we'll carry on now with DK. Right on the back of Budge, Rory Drain's teammate. Will he go for a move here round the outside? Budge, of course, will fight this. Will he move back onto the racing line? He isn't, but there was enough room to go for a move. DK didn't take it. And Budge lives for another day in that P2 spot, as Rory is starting to break away. He nearly has 1 second on his teammate behind. And of course, a fast McJohn right behind him as well.
Yeah, really quick. He's really quick through that slow chicane in Sector 2. And you can see already here he's attacking DKF1. He has greater straight line speed. And away he goes. And he's ready now to attack the two in front of him. So this will be interesting. As he gets deep into the final corner and nearly takes Budge with him. And this will give a chance to DK to come back at him. But he's not going to have enough of a run. Yeah. As Sanko now has a look at DK. Oh, and he gets into the back of him
there.
Yeah.
Bit wobbly around the outside. DK nearly into the back of John Joe ahead. DK manages to keep that P4 just for now. Sanko with that penalty needs to be careful.
Yeah, Sanko with an awful lot of pace. We've seen him in the early stages exchange blows with John Joe, but he has to clear DK cleanly. He has enough penalties to his name already.
He's going to be out with the points as things look.
So runs a little wide there.
And Aaron McCann is having a little battle with Mayo Man, not leaving each other a lot of room here. Side by side they go through the straight as we have a yellow flag. I'm not sure who that was, but Aaron McCann has made his way nicely up into P6 as we have a little scrap here for P4. Sanko on those fresher tyres is through on DK, and Mayo Man back at Aaron McCann, but through the inside. Not a great place for an overtake here, as we've seen already before. A lot of wheel banging, and Mayo Man has backed out once again, as he has done recently in this race. Aaron McCann up into P6 again, and McJohn Joe has had a mistake there. He spun round.
Yep.
He is down now, nearly out with the points, and that has ended his chance at the win here today. And Rory Drain can have a sigh of relief indeed.
Yeah, so no DRS just yet, but we'll have it next time around, and we'll then.
There goes Mayo Man through the inside of Aaron McCann. Is not going to let this move go at all.
Yeah, Mayo doing Trojan work there. 16 lap old hards, but fighting those mediums at the moment and fighting them well. Aaron's coming back up the inside with a dive bomb, a little bit of wheel banging,
a lot of contact.
Aaron gets out of shape. I think there's frustration there.
Not letting this go at all. Aaron McCann trying to get that P5. He needs to relax just a little bit to get past Mayo Man. Gone very wide there. Could that allow Sully to get past him as well? Very wide again.
Yep. Sully has a run here, and he could get the two of them in this DRS zone if he gets a good exit.
Aaron McCann is getting very desperate here at this point in time, and he is 5/10 behind Mayo Man, who he has previously overtaken, but now is being overtaken by by Sully TM.
Yeah, he has the inside line. He should get this done. Aaron will run out of space with Mayo in front. He's going to have to be conservative on the brakes, you would think. Oh, he does really well.
Ooh,
And Aaron will hold that with the inside line. Really good defence from Aaron.
It was very good defence indeed. Aaron is going to try and keep that position as much as he can, but he has kind of ruined his chances of getting that podium here. Looks like it's going to be DK's, but who knows what can happen. There might be another safety car at this rate. It looks like there may be. Aaron McCann very far behind the rest of the pack.
Yeah, Mayo running a very quick car in a straight line. Even without DRS, he's only now starting to lose a couple of kilometres to Aaron. And Aaron nearly into the back of him.
Oh! And who went
was that Sully?
Was that? No, it wasn't Sully. It was John Joe.
Oh, wow.
I think he's straight. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. I'd assume not. But who was? I don't even. Mayo Man get clobbered there. I'm not sure who even did. I think it was Mayo Man.
And McJohn is into the pits. He's gonna retire, I think.
John Joe, yeah, I think he was the one who clobbered Mayo. That might be a very hefty Stewart's inquiry there. I'm not sure what happened at all. But we will go on with this race with the mystery of who hit Mayo Man. But yeah, we're going to keep on racing. Sully, does Sully have a little bit of damage?
Yeah, my telemetry is telling me there was contact between the McLaren and the Williams, so that would be Sully and Mayo, looking at the numbers I have. So I wonder, did Sully collect them, but maybe Sully was contacted by someone else. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I'm sure footage after the race will reveal all, but that's quite controversial either way.
But Sully now, yeah, Sully does have right end plate damage, so Mayo Man should be able to get by him for P6 and possibly even P5 if he can keep it in that 8 seconds.
Yeah, so Aaron's been given a bit of breathing room, which will help him chase after DK, but Papa, Carl and Griffin now, and Ryan Curran of course, have all caught up to the back of this train, so chance now of more points for a few of the lads. And obviously Mayo's on those old hards. How much defence has he got left in the locker? Doing Trojan work so far.
Papa very close to the back of Mayo Man here. Might he go for a dive through the inside? He is not going to, but I know Ryan Curran may, and he's not going to either. He's going to stay behind Griffin for that last point position, but of course Ryan, remember, he has that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, very costly at this stage.
Even better.
Yeah. And we shouldn't forget Sanko in P3 has 8, so he's going to slip right down that order. At the moment, DK on for P3, but still good 5 laps of racing nearly to go.
Sanko very close to the back of Budge here. He will have the DRS, but Budge also keeping up with Rory. Whether Rory is letting him keep up is another question, but he is nonetheless, and he is getting closer and closer to him. He has a very quick car in a straight line, does Budge. Might he try and go for an overtake here on his own teammate? As Sanko very close to the back of him there.
Yeah.
Going into that left-hander, into this tricky section in the end of Sector 2. Budge going a little bit wide there. That's not going to help him through the exits here.
No, so if you look at the telemetry at the moment, in Sector 1 Rory has the advantage, and that would imply that he's probably running higher downforce than the two lads, which we'll probably see here. And Sector 2,
I don't think Rory's letting Budge stay in, and he is using his ERS. And so is Budge to keep in that DRS zone and keep Sanko behind him as well. Sanko's getting very close to the back of Rory, or to the back of Budge there. So will Budge be able to get close enough to go for a move? He is 6/10 back at the moment, but more importantly, he needs to keep Sanko behind him, or else he will lose that opportunity to win the race altogether. Sanko locking up a lot there into turn 1, and Budge now, a couple of mistakes has lost him a lot of time, and Sanko's nearly lost the car completely.
Yeah, he has the pace and he has the fresher tyres. He just has to pick his moment. Certainly won't help him that he's out of ERS pretty much.
Indeed. So Budge, will he be able to get this DRS? He's going to have to use his ERS to be able to stay in it. It's going to be very close, 9.96, and he does get the DRS on his teammate, so he will be able to defend against Sanko a little bit easier. Sanko still has a very quick car in a straight line. He isn't going to go for the move. He has no ERS to his name. So it's going to be difficult to get the move done.
Sully going around the long way here for Mayo, even with damage.
Mayo through the inside once again.
Back up the inside. Yeah, he's gone a little bit deep, but he should hold his line here and you'll be fine. He does. Really good from Mayo.
The car very nicely for Mayo Man. But here comes Budge now. Budge might be close enough for an overtake on his teammate. He has enough ERS to do it. He sees
Yeah.
Rory Drain's flashing red light ahead of him. He is derating. He is running out of ERS very quickly. So Budge is going to wait for a better opportunity to use his ERS as he gets very close here on the exit of the last corner with a braking zone. Mailman and Sully once again trading blows. Mailman nearly going into the back of Sully. Sully predicting a dive from Mayo. Here comes Budge, very close to the back of his teammate
Sanko
here.
nearly collects the two of them. Oof, that is close. And I wonder at this stage, would the two Red Bulls be just well advised to let Sanko away? They won't. You wouldn't think losing by 8 seconds in 3 laps, but he could easily collect one of them at the rate we're going.
Yeah, Sanko needs to be careful. He needs to try and go as quick as he can without taking out anybody, especially these two Red Bulls ahead.
For sure.
Fighting for P1. Rory Drain and Budge.
It's again Rory 4 tenths quicker than the other two drivers with him in sector 1, but this is where the lads start to gain it back and you can see them.
Oh, we have a
coming in
spinner.
now. We do.
King
King
Papa.
Papa, I think, is around, and Griffin's also recovering. I
Oh,
wonder what's the
Sanko
contact.
nearly into the back of Budge. Budge just about leaving him enough room to go around the outside so he doesn't hit him. I was very lucky there that he didn't get collected. Sanko needs to be careful on his braking zones. Very close once again. But Budge seems to gain a good bit of time in his teammate through this section, as he is close to him here. Might he use his ERS now to try and get past his teammate? He is just about 6 tenths behind him. He's going to use a bit of his ERS just to get close enough, but he is going to be derating as well. This might be an opportunity on this next straight. He's trying to defend against Sanko, trying to go around the outside of him here. And Rory Drain is thanking God that he has Sanko to fight his teammate behind, because Budge is looking very quick around here.
Yep, just looking again back through the race control, there was contact between Griffin and King Papa, so again one that'll probably be looked at after the race. Not exactly sure what happened, but that explains those yellows. Thankfully we went back green, and at the moment...
Oh, Mayo Man, completely
have-
off the track. He's missed his
Yeah.
braking zone completely, nearly hit the wall straight ahead.
And Ryan makes his way through. I was just
Oh,
about to say
Alex!
Ryan's come onto the back of the two of them. Alex around.
Nearly lost the car, he just about caught it, but 2 cars have gone by him.
A lot of drivers struggling now with the high deg and trying to make it to the end on very old tyres.
Right, here we go. Second to last opportunity on the second last lap. Sanko going around the outside of Budge, and that Red Bull. Budge is just about placing his car in the right area, and Sanko is going to have to stay behind for now until this next straight. Budge is going to have to settle for P2 unless his teammate makes a mistake, and Budge nearly spins the car around. He needs to take it easy and not defend as hard as he is to Sanko, who has an 8-second penalty.
Yeah, I think Budge might just let him go here on the back straight. He knows he's not going to gap him by 8 seconds this lap around, but
And there goes
yeah,
Sanko.
Budge defending really well through sector 2. But there's no need to fight it now, and I think,
No.
yeah, you see the experience there. Budge is just going to let him go, and hopefully he interferes now with neither Red Bull, and we can both bring home what would be a very well-deserved 1-2. I say that from a neutral and also a biased perspective, as
Neutrally
DK,
biased.
neutrally biased, exactly, as DK now has Aaron on the last lap for company. So what will happen here? 12 lap mediums against 22 lap hards.
For the final podium position as well. So Aaron McCann very close to DK now. This is going to be his second last opportunity to get past DK in this race. DK of course on those very old tyres, and it's shown. He's being a little bit wobbly through this sector. Into sector 2 we go of the last lap of the Miami Grand Prix. Aaron McCann seems to be far enough back for DK Phone 1 to be happy. And Aaron McCann is, yeah, he's too far back to make a move as of yet, and DK has enough ERS to be able to defend against Aaron as well.
Yeah, just
So-
needs one more good exit and he is sorted. Aaron will have one more chance to get a run on him down the back straight, but a lot of work to do if he's to get him.
Oh yeah, he's very close to the back from here. We might have a battle for the last podium position.
DK is spawning. He's going to
He
leave
is
everything
indeed.
out there, and I don't know if Aaron's going to be
Gonna
close
get him.
enough.
Oh, and Rory Drain. What's happened there? He's just being overtaken there. So
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
think he's just let Sanko go just to make sure there's no issues into the final corner.
But anyway,
So Sanko across the line.
Sanko
Oh, and
is-
DK is retired!
no! Sanko has crossed the line. Rory Drain will win it after penalties. Budge P2. And Aaron McCann is going to get that P3. I don't know what happens with DK.
Wow.
Oh no.
Wow. On the very last corner of a 29-lap race, DK loses it. No record of contact from what I can see, so I imagine he might have just went in deep himself, maybe trying to defend from Aaron. Wow.
That's not good at all, but that is our race. The winner, Rory Drain, and his teammate just behind him in P2. Of course, we have then Aaron McCann making a good decision to go in the mediums after that safety car coming out. He is in P3.
Yeah, which didn't look likely down that last straight, you have to say, but I'm very surprised. Wow.
So unfortunate to go all these lap points in the end. That's not a...
Yeah, last lap is horrendous, but last real corner on the track is,
exactly.
Wow.
So after that chaotic last lap, Kev, why don't you bring us down to finishing order?
Yeah, so wasn't on track, but after penalties, Rory Drain with his first win, and I dare say I don't think it'll be his last win of the season in the Red Bull. Last week's winner, Budge, in P2, very good day's work for him, leads him nicely into the next race in the championship. Aaron McCann rounds out our podium in P3, Sanko in P4 with the 8-second adjustment, Carl, a great result for him, popping up into P5, Sully in P6, Ryan Curran recovering to P7 with the fastest lap to his name as well, Mayo Man in P8 after some super defending on the closing stages, Griffin after a troubled day gets 2 points for P9, and King Papa in P10. Bartafor in 11th, DK F1 crashing on the last lap comes home technically in 12th, Glenn Mack and Alex rounding out our classification, and then we lost John Joe, Ronanosaurus, Daniel Blue and Aaron Sully all quite early on.
Yeah, so a weird last lap from DK there. Unfortunate as well. I would have liked to see him on the podium after getting up so early, but yeah, nonetheless, that's our finishing order, and a well-deserved 1-2 from the lads there. Rory Drain and Budge drove a very nice race, as usual.
So, will we go ahead with an interview, Josh, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we might as well. Keep them short and sweet. Okay. But we'll get the lads in. They deserve to talk about their podiums. Okay.
Well, we'll give them all a.
It'll be a one-word interview, though.
Yeah. Okay. Yes or no questions only.
Yeah. Are you happy? Yes. That's all we'll get.
Excellent. Well, we'll get the three lads in, and we'll go from there. We do have accusations been made in the chat. We won't adhere to them just yet, but let's get Aaron's perspective when he comes in of that last corner, and we'll go from there. Forced on track, forced into the party. That man is speedy everywhere. Rory, how are we?
Not bad, mate, not bad.
Great to have you as always. We'll get to you in just a second. We won't wait too long. We'll see if the lads join. There's Budge himself. We'll give Aaron just a second. We won't hang around too long if he doesn't join us because it is late, but we'll give him a second to see if he wants to come in and talk to us.
So lads, it is a one-word interview. I just saw you now.
Yes or no, answers only.
I think we'll fire ahead. And if he joins, we can kick him out. Right, take your pick on either Budge or Rory.
Sure, I spoke to Budge last week, so I'll let you have a conversation with the main man, the Tier 4 champion. I'll say it again. Chiggy used to say it all the time, but he was the one saying it, so we'll say it for Budge.
Budge, how are we today? How are we feeling after that one?
Yeah, it's grand, yeah. I mean, it's a shy track, in my opinion, but
wouldn't be wrong.
It is what it is. Like,
correct.
5 minutes of practice, and I just pick numbers out of the sky for the wings and just went with it. Like tire pressures, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, lovely. Let's go. It was shocking. It's a shocking track.
So to say you weren't expecting the podium would be an understatement. Now I did say last week that we'd most likely see it again, and here you are.
Yes.
But,
yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, last week I was really surprised. kind of even more surprised this week because it was fucking. It was,
Can we get the sandbags off, Budge? Just real quick, can we untie them completely?
Yeah, that's it. Well, Slater was on there, asked me, do you want to go up to tier 1? And I was like, I'm not that good. You know, man. I was having, I'm not having any of this. Like, just because I get a bit of luck now and then. No.
Wouldn't be fair to tier 1, Budge.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah, no, well, that's it. You know what I mean? That's it.
We already have enough crashes. Right, Budge, so... Yeah, we'll skip qualifying. You're at P7.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is a bit more time, whatever. But
yeah.
We'll go on to the race. Of course, after the last safety car, it was intense, and you had pace on your teammate as well. It looked like you were trading lap for lap, and you were very close to him in the DRS zones. Was there a thought in your mind that you might be able to get past him, or were you happy with sitting in P2?
I wasn't trying to get past him, actually. I was sitting behind him because Alex decided to get out of his car and push it around the corner in sector 2.
I told you not to say anything, but...
And no, I mean, like, it is what it is, like, you know what I mean? If I get a penalty, I get a penalty, like, but it's absolute crazy speed. Blue was behind me, and he couldn't believe how slow your man was going around the corner, like, honestly. They could have got 2 horse carts to Ballyfermer here and pulled them around the blocking corner faster.
Well, as we usually say, anything you say will be used against you in the steward's room.
But, yeah, so that was the only thing that really that I thought was anyway questionable. But look, it is what it is.
Exactly.
After that, then I was messing with Rory saying, "Do you want me to let me go ahead and you just hold him up for 4.5 seconds just in case, like." But he was willing to do it then, and then you crash into the safety car.
What a man.
Oh yeah, we saw that on very impressive. You managed to let it go, but
yeah, so he was contemplating the team strategy there. But after that, then I was like, no, I'll just stay behind him. I think there was at one point I probably could have went by him, but he would have just went straight by me again, and I didn't want to fight him. And I just let him know, like, I'm not going to be using the ERS to go past you. I'm just defending against Sanko here.
Yeah.
And we wanted to gap anybody else behind that because he already had 8 seconds. So look. It worked out in the end. Like, I got
happy out with the 1-2 anyway, and further puts you in the lead of the championship. P1 and P2 for the first 2 races is not a bad start at all, one would say.
It's not bad. No, not bad.
So
there you go.
Last question. We'll go on to next week. Now, once again,
I haven't got a clue.
If I told you I knew, I'd be lying. There we go. Australia.
Oh yeah. Well, another road track that shouldn't be in the calendar, in my opinion. We need to be going.
Should they all be gone then?
Honestly, stick to your Suzukas and your Barcelona. I didn't want to say Catalonia. I was bleeding pulled out of it earlier on by Mayo. Catalonia. These sort of tracks, proper tracks, like not making up tracks like Miami and even Baku and all these shitholes. Even I hate Monaco. I don't know why it's on the calendar.
We could be all here all night listening to how many tracks you hate, Budge. But well done anyway. You'll be back on the podium next week, no matter how much you hate the track. I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again. Well done today.
Cheers. Thanks.
On to you, Gav.
Right, Rory, how are we?
Good, man, good.
We just missed out having you on the podium last week with P4, but you got here this week, so good day's work all around.
Well, P4 to P10 in the stewards room.
Yeah, well, that's true as well. But good, obviously, result for you today. And start with quali for me. P4 and quali, you hit a good couple of laps in fairness to you. Were you happy enough with how it went, or you seem to have good pace?
The best I've done in practice, I did about maybe 10 quali laps today, and the best I've done was a low 9. So really a high 9. A high 9 I'm not too disappointed with. When I see your man doing a 0.7 straight out the bat, I knew getting the top 2 or 3 probably wasn't going to happen.
Very good. And then obviously the race start. Believe it or not, there was one man who predicted you for the win, said you might keep it clean, keep yourself out of trouble, and that's how it worked out. We won't say who that is, but he's a bit of a genius. And the race obviously had a lot of carnage, a lot of contact. I think John Joe and Sanko disappeared in the initial stages out front, but did you see the race coming towards you? Had you a feeling you might be able to capitalise if others made the mistake, or how was the race from your perspective?
Well, once it's seen, to be fair, I have to give thanks to Budge, because I don't know if I would have went in on lap 6.
Right.
From the limited memories of racing there, I remembered the tyre wear being quite high.
Correct.
The last time I raced there, I had much higher wings. I don't know if that increases wear, but it seemed to be a bit better today. So I'm glad I went in, because obviously whenever the second safety, or no, then they had the pit, and they were 15 seconds behind. And after about 5-6 laps, I realized that the hards would probably make it. The only sort of fly in the ointment was fucking the second safety car. I thought that might sort of shake things up a bit, you know.
But the race obviously came towards you, and the last, I suppose, 10, 12 laps, how were they from your perspective? Was it really just a case of, I assume you and Budge were obviously chatting away in the party, keeping it clean and making sure you brought home a good result for the team, or what was going on between the two of you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got a warning on the third lap, so I was just trying not to get any more warnings. Kept it clean for the rest of the race, and yeah, when you've got your teammate behind you saying he's not going to pass, it's about as relaxing as a win can get. I had very low wings, which meant that I could kind of pull away on the straights, but that really slow section was a fucking nightmare pretty much the whole race. So they always came back closer. And then at the end, obviously, I just thought, I'm not going to fight Sanko here. I think, to be honest, without penalties, it would have been hard to keep Sanko behind, and your man John Joe, without him spinning, he might have been hard to keep behind. But shit happens in racing, eh?
Yeah, and consistency obviously is the most important thing, as we see in these tiers over and over again. Interestingly enough, you were the quickest man each lap in Sector 1, and then the two lads were recovering on you, Sanko and Budge, in Sector 2 and 3. So if you're saying you're running low wings, it kind of went against that. You were finding 4, 5, 10s each lap.
I don't know how that worked. Because it just seemed to pull away in that fast wavy section. But no, maybe they were running lower wings than me, or at least Sanko was. I'm not sure. But I was definitely running, compared to the last time we raced there, whenever I was spinning all the time, I think it was like 13, 19 then, and it was only 9, 13 tonight.
For sure, and obviously...
10, 13, sorry, just so you know.
Oh, there you go.
10, 13, sorry.
So, obviously, Budge done, the honourable Lance Stroll, I will not fight Fernando, and left you out front. I assume at some point during the season, the gloves between the two of you will come off. Obviously, Budge pipped you to the Tier 4 title last season. So what is the strategy looking like for the rest of the season? Is it just continue to see how things develop? Have you agreed kind of that if you land P1, P2 in races that you'll bring them home that way? Or is it just kind of see as it goes?
I think that's the sensible thing to do, yeah.
Play the race in front of you.
Yeah.
I don't really want to start fighting with your teammate. It probably depends track. We know between ourselves, once we start doing a few laps, who's faster where. So it's probably track dependent. But if it was a situation like tonight, I would have been quite happy to sit behind as well.
Yeah, and I assume, as I asked Budge last weekend, probably at this stage you're not thinking too much about the drivers, although you're obviously well in contention along with Budge. But the constructors, definitely for the two of you, I'd say, are well up there as the favourites at the moment.
Let's hope so. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see. There's definitely faster drivers. Whether there's two as consistent in the same time, I don't think so. So hopefully that we'll get the constructors, and who knows about the drivers. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Last question, of course, as always. Next week we're in Oz. How do you like the track, or do you like Budge? Do you just hate all street kind of road tracks?
I'm not quite as angry about street tracks.
Nobody is.
I do hate Monaco equally, though. I really hate Monaco.
Okay.
Australia's not so bad. We're just going to have to prepare for at least 3 safety cars.
Yeah. Very good. Well, listen, as always, well done, and I'm sure we won't be too far away from seeing you here again, along with Mr. Budge. So, well done, lads, and a great result for Red Bull.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, lads.
Right. Well done, lads, and well done to everyone who managed to finish that race. And
sure.
Yeah, thanks again for watching tonight. We'll be back again next week on Sunday, 9 o'clock this time, for Australia. So again, thanks for watching, and we will see you then. Good night.